Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we delving into a case that has captivated and baffled the public for decades. Tragic and unsolved mystery of JonBenét Ramsey on December 26, 1996 in Boulder, Colorado. 6-year-old beauty pageant Queen JonBenét Ramsey was reported missing from her home. What followed was a whirlwind of confusion, suspicion, and a media frenzy that has never truly subsided. The morning after Christmas, Patsy Ramsey, JonBenét's mother, called Joey, reporting that her daughter was gone and that she had found a 2.5-page ransom note on the back staircase. The note was peculiar, to say the least. It was unusually long and detailed, demanding a very specific sum of $118,000, an amount that coincidentally matched a work bonus. JonBenét's father, John Ramsey, had recently received the note warned the Ramseys not to contact the police, but they already had. Police arrived at the Ramseys' sprawling home, but the initial handling of the crime scene has been heavily criticized ever since. Instead of sealing off the house, friends and family were allowed to come and go, potentially contaminating crucial evidence. For hours, the search focused on a kidnapping, as the note suggested. John Ramsey was instructed to await a call from the supposed kidnappers, but that call never came. Later that afternoon, a detective asked John Ramsey and a family friend to search the house one more time for anything amiss. It was then, in a little used wine cellar in the basement, that John made a horrifying discovery. He found his daughter's body. JonBenét was covered with her favorite white blanket. She had a nylon cord around her neck. Her wrists were bound above her head, and there was duct tape over her mouth. The subsequent autopsy revealed the cause of death was asphyxiation by strangulation associated with a severe skull fracture. Immediately, suspicion fell on the Ramsey family. The police were perplexed by several key elements. The ransom note itself was a major point of contention. It was written on a notepad found inside the Ramsey home with a pen also from the house. Handwriting analysis was conducted to compare the note to samples from Patsy and John, but the results were inconclusive, with experts divided. Some believed Patsy might have written it, possibly disguising her handwriting, while others disagreed. The length and rambling nature of the note struck many as bizarre for a genuine ransom demand. Why would a kidnapper spend nearly 20 minutes inside the house composing such a letter? Then there was the physical evidence, or lack thereof. There were no clear signs of forced entry. An open basement window was considered a possible entry point, but it was covered in cobwebs that appeared undisturbed. A footprint was found near JonBenét's body, but it was never matched to a specific individual. The pineapple found in JonBenét's stomach during the autopsy also became a significant clue. Patsy and John said they didn't remember giving her any pineapple that night, but a bowl of pineapple with a spoon in it was found on the kitchen counter, bearing Patsy's and her son Burke's fingerprints. This suggested JonBenét had eaten shortly before her death, which contradicted her parents' timeline of events. The focus naturally shifted to those inside the house that night: John, Patsy, and their 9-year-old son, Burke. The intruder theory posited that someone broke into the home and committed the crime. Proponents of this theory point to unidentified male DNA found in JonBenét's underwear and under her fingernails. This DNA has never been matched to anyone in the Ramsey family or to any known individual in law enforcement databases, despite extensive testing over the years. This remains one of the most compelling pieces of evidence suggesting an unknown assailant was involved. Conversely, the family theory suggests that someone within the household was responsible, and that the kidnapping was staged to cover up the crime. One popular version of this theory speculates that JonBenét's death was accidental. Perhaps there was a conflict, maybe over the pineapple or a late-night bedwetting incident that escalated tragically. In this scenario, the blow to the head might have been unintentional, and the strangulation and staging of the kidnapping were a panicked attempt to conceal the truth. Attention has often been directed toward Burke, who was just a child at the time. Some have speculated he might have accidentally caused the injury, with his parents covering for him. The Ramseys have always vehemently denied this, and Burke himself has publicly stated his innocence. He maintained that he slept through the entire night and heard nothing. In 1999, a grand jury was convened to investigate the case. They voted to indict John and Patsy Ramsey on charges of child abuse resulting in death. But the district attorney at the time, Alex Hunter, declined to sign the indictment and prosecute. He cited a lack of sufficient evidence to secure a conviction, a decision that remains controversial to this day. For years, John and Patsy lived under a cloud of public suspicion. Over 2 decades later, the case remains officially open but unsolved. Patsy Ramsey sadly passed away from cancer in 2006, never seeing justice for her daughter. In 2008, new DNA testing techniques led the Boulder District Attorney's Office to formally clear John, Patsy, and Burke Ramsey of any involvement, stating that the unidentified male DNA found on the scene was the focus of the investigation. However, not all experts agree with this exoneration, arguing that the DNA evidence could be the result of contamination and does undefinitively rule out the family. The case of JonBenét Ramsey is a tragic puzzle with too many pieces that don't quite fit. Was it a calculated, brutal crime committed by a mysterious intruder who managed to get in and out without a trace? Or was it a terrible family secret concealed by a staged kidnapping and a convoluted ransom note? Every piece of evidence seems to generate more questions than answers. The specific ransom amount, the pineapple, the unusual note, the chaotic crime scene, and the unidentified DNA. Each element points in a different direction, creating a web of competing theories. The legacy of this case is complex. It highlighted issues in police procedure and the powerful, often damaging, role the media can play in high-profile investigations. But at its heart, it is the story of a 6-year-old girl whose life was cut short, leaving behind a mystery that continues to haunt the American psyche. We may never know for certain what happened in that Boulder home on Christmas night in 1996, but the search for answers continues. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into one of history's most compelling unsolved cases. What are your thoughts on this mystery? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you in the next one.